What's going on, everybody? I'm Nick,
And I'm Joe.
and we're
Nick and Joe.
Today on the channel, we're starting a new segment that we like to call K-Drama Club.
Should I have said that in unison?
This will be my second K-drama. You've watched a few K-dramas.
I've watched some of the big ones. It's like this is probably my fifth one.
Right. So this one we're watching together for the first time, both of us. So we're able to react fresh to it off of every episode. So we're going to go episode by episode through the new K-drama that just came out called Startup. A lot of people are talking about this K-drama.
Yes. I originally heard about it because Red Velvet has a song on the soundtrack. And I followed them on Instagram and they were posting about it and all that. A friend of mine actually texted me yesterday and asked me if I had started watching it yet, because they said everybody's telling me this is really great. People are saying they were crying in the first episode after watching the first episode, everything like that. So yeah, I mean, I was excited to kind of get into it.
For sure. I saw a trailer for it probably a month ago, and we had just been watching Itaewon Class, and I was like, this looks just like it. It looks like it's going to be similar style.
Yeah.
And here we are. First two episodes are up, and today we're going to be reacting to episode 1.
Yes.
And then probably later this week we'll react to episode 2, and then as the episodes come out, we'll keep up with them and have new episodes out as the new episodes of the K-drama come out. But as you have comments and questions and just insights about the show, we hope that you'll leave them in the comments, because as we gain more viewers and as we get comments, we will read them at the top of each episode for all of you who are commenting on what happened in a particular episode. So go ahead, leave your comments down below, and starting next episode, we'll start to sort of read those and include those in our videos.
Yeah, just let us know anything we missed, or any insights that you have that maybe we, or any differences in what you saw from what we saw.
Yeah, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. Very basic overview of the plot.
Yes.
There's two sisters. Their dad is very sick of his normal job, wants to start his own business, his own startup, you might say. And the mom is not very happy about that. She wants him to provide for the family, et cetera, et cetera. They end up getting a divorce. The sisters, who had previously been very close, split off, and they go with either parent.
They each decide to live with one parent.
Right. And one of the daughters gets very sad because her sister went to go live with her mom. And the grandmother sets up this plan to cheer up the sister by writing these fake love letters.
Yes.
And putting them in the birdhouse.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's so many different plots.
There's so many different layers to this. Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's this boy who is an orphan and just aged out of the orphanage and is looking for a place to stay. He doesn't have much money and ends up crossing paths with the same grandmother who owns a shop, like a food stand, essentially. She lets him stay in the food stand overnight, sleeping there. She keeps money in the food stand. She expects it to be stolen the next day after the first night he stays there.
She acts like she forgot to put it away, and she was like, "Oh, he's gonna steal the money."
He did not.
He didn't steal the money. Yeah.
And now we will call him
Good Boy.
Good Boy.
Good Boy.
So the grandmother, wanted to write the letters to cheer up the granddaughter, but she enlisted the help of this new good boy to write it like a boy her age.
Exactly. And then the other part of this boy is that he won some sort of fake money investing competition.
Yes.
With cyber currency. Basically, he tells the grandmother she should put her money in the bank, so she does, but she's like, I don't know what to do with this. So she gives him her bank account information.
Because somehow this grandmother was running this successful food business and did not have a bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
Was keeping the money in the coffee can.
Yeah. But I think this was supposed to be probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
In the past. 15 years, it said.
That
15
is
years.
True. It's old flip phones.
Yeah.
Pre real internet, no iPhones or anything like that. Cool. He's now in charge of her money. Basically, she puts her money in the bank, but then he starts investing it.
Yeah.
Or we have a clue that he's starting to invest it and making some real money off of it. And the sisters are meeting regularly. Back to the sisters, even though they're living separately, they're still getting lunch or dinner regularly and staying in touch and being best buds. I guess,
but for some reason that doesn't really cover, they're clearly growing apart.
Yes.
I think there's different lifestyles there, and it causes them to kind of drift apart. It seems more like the older sister is less interested, and the younger sister is kind of the same person that she was before.
Yes. And then it is revealed that the mother is remarrying, and she's not only just remarrying, she's remarrying a rich man that is going to bring the sister and the mother to America. So they'll be totally apart now. No longer be living in Korea together. And that the sister that is living with the mom with the rich stepdad kind of takes this turn attitude wise, kind of talks down on her father for wanting to start his own business and working minimum wage and only eating fried chicken.
Yeah.
And says like, look, we eat at buffets.
Yeah.
That was one of the lines she said, like as some sign of wealth. We eat at buffets.
Yeah.
And they're rich, and she's getting a little like high on their supply of, wealth,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
They get into a fight.
She says, we're not sisters anymore.
Yeah. Huge breaking point.
Yeah, huge breaking point. Meanwhile, the dad's startup is going well.
Yes, the dad is seeking investment for his startup,
which is Uber Eats.
It's essentially Uber Eats or like Postmates, like food delivery service app. And he's seeking investors, and he's having a kind of hard time as this is all happening, but he's about to get his big break. The grandmother, bring it back to the grandmother. The grandmother is, of course, the father's mother.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. She finds that in her bank account, she has a ton of money because the kid has been investing the money. He grew the account by 1,000.
Yeah, 10 times. She had 8 million won, and then she had 80 million won when she had to take the money out in a year.
And she was like flabbergasted by that. And she really wanted to help her son out because he was really on his grind trying to do this startup and he was having a hard time. So she was giving him money. Meanwhile, the good boy sees the grandmother give the father money, and he is just not happy because he's like, oh, I invested all this money and I made all this money and you just gave it away to him and he's just going to throw it all away on this business, whatever. But she didn't actually do that. She actually just gave him her money.
Yeah.
Her
original 8 million won, and then gave the kid back all the money that he earned with by investing it.
Exactly. Very sweet moment. But he didn't really need that investment from the mother because he goes to an investment meeting where he's meeting with new investors and they are very happy with his technology and his app.
They ask him what his plan is, like the next thing with the business. And he's like, oh, I want to continue to grow my user base. And
rather than take early profits.
Yeah. And she was like, well, if you're going to continue to grow your user base, then you're not going to make money. This isn't going to be profitable for us for a long time. And he was like, I understand that, but I think that growing the user base is the best thing to do right now.
Yeah, he said he's seen a lot of businesses go under trying to get quick profits.
Yeah. And that was apparently exactly what she wanted to hear.
Right. She made it seem like
she wanted
quick profits.
So she wanted to see, I think, if he would swing under that pressure. So he answered correctly. And then she said she'd give him the investment. But on the way to the meeting,
I skipped that part.
Yeah, he got hit by a car.
Yes.
So
he was in a rush. He was trying to get on the bus. He crosses the street too early. He gets hit by a car. He doesn't break an arm or anything. He just kind of gets hit by the car, falls on the ground, gets a little woozy. His head's bleeding. His nose is bleeding. But he proceeds to get on the bus and go to the meeting anyway. Does the meeting, nails it. They say they want to invest. Great, but his nose keeps bleeding. He's excited because he got that investment and it looks very promising. So he calls his daughter on his way home and they have a very heartfelt moment.
Yes.
Where she talks about how she's proud of him and she loves him and she wants fried chicken. I think that was
it was like a big
tearjerker moment for sure. Like she was so proud of her father, and the sign of her father doing well was buying fried chicken, even though that had been thrown in her face as this cheap thing. But it meant a lot to her and it meant a lot to the family. So they talk on the phone. They love each other. She's proud of him. And then he heads home on the bus.
Yeah. And clearly in some negative effects from the accident.
Yes. He just did not make it home.
Yeah, did not make it home.
We were waiting for this the whole way. So he got hit by the car in the first place. We thought it was going to be over.
Yeah.
Because we pretty much predicted that the father was going to die.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this goes.
Yeah, I think,
So he didn't die when he got hit by the car. He didn't die in the investment meeting. He goes on the bus. People think he's just drunk, but he actually was pretty much having a stroke.
You're sure he has some sort of brain damage,
or something. And then he passes away on the bus, and the daughter is left home alone. And we don't know what happens.
Yeah.
Of course, this is all told in flashback because in present day, we've got a tale of two cities situation going on. Because of course, the daughter who went with the wealthy mother is now living this rich, wealthy life. And the daughter who stayed with the father, since the father passed and never got to pursue his business dream, continued to live with the grandmother who has her food stand, which then turned into a food truck.
Yeah.
Is helping her with her business and is living a very lower middle class like lifestyle.
Kind of lifestyle, yeah.
Yeah.
And the older sister started her own business with money borrowed from her stepfather, who's rich, and is doing very, very well. Very well. Is very rich. So the whole beginning of the episode is, and like the middle of the episode is them two meeting when they're older, like at a conference, and basically the younger sister asks like, "Oh, do you regret the decision that you made?"
Right.
And the older sister kind of just says, "Thanks for meeting me, because this is making me not regret the decision that I made at all. You've totally shown me that I made the right choice with the way you're living your life."
Yeah, essentially saying, look at you, you're still poor, you're still like working for minimum wage and working overtime. I'm so glad I made this choice and went and lived with the rich family, like throwing it in her face once again. And it's very sad.
Yeah.
But it clearly is going to be the whole conceit of the entire show. You have this like class warfare situation going on, and I think the theme of not pursuing like quick success, like short success, pursuing more long-term like happiness and success. I think that's going to be a overall theme of the show for sure, because that's manifested a couple ways so far. So this is all happening. The sister relationship is happening. But we did plant the seed about the letters early on in the...
And I think this is one of the more important parts of this part of the story, which is when the good boy, who's investing the grandmother's money while he's living with her for that year, she asks him to pretend to be a boy her granddaughter's age and write letters to her, as if he wanted to be friends with her.
Yeah. They become pen pals. Yeah. But he uses a different name.
A fake name, yeah.
A name that they found in the newspaper.
Yeah, of like a kid who's really smart. Math. Like won a math competition of some sort. For that year, because the grandmother knew that her granddaughter would be sad losing her sister, and everything like that. So she just had him write letters. But the granddaughter never was told that this was not a real person.
Right.
So these letters meant a lot to her, and she really loved the boy that she thought was writing them. The grandmother kept it from her that this was not a real person for the entire time.
Yes.
After that.
And now they're adults, and she still thinks that person was a real person, and she remembers the name of the person. And now the final confrontation between the two sisters... Yeah. The rich sister invites the other sister to come to this conference or meeting that has to do with startups, because she tells the rich sister, "Oh, I'm starting my own business," and kind of makes something up. And she says, "Oh, well, why don't you come?" And then she says, "And bring your boyfriend," because she lied and said that she was dating the pen pal guy. And she was like, okay, she was caught in a bind because she got invited to this thing and with this guy that she's not actually dating, and she doesn't even know. She just knows his name. Now she has to figure it out. She says, "Oh, I'll be there, and I'll be there with him too." Now the boy situation is confusing because they took the name from a boy in the newspaper that, like you said, won some math competition. They don't actually know this boy. The actual boy, good boy, who was living with the grandma and invested the grandma's money and did good on the family in general, is now working for his own tech startup.
Yeah, he's like a successful businessman.
And was on the same panel with the rich sister.
Yeah.
So he's the one who was actually writing the letters. The dude whose name they used, we find out at the very end of the episode, is working on some other fancy tech,
some programming type thing,
face recognition startup thing. So it would seem that the direction this is going is this: she's going to think that the boy who shares the same name as the pen pal is the real pen pal, where the actual pen pal is a boy she knew all along, and a dude who's also in tech.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of seeds planted, I think.
And I think the biggest struggle for us is that we
don't speak Korean.
Yeah, is that we can't, like, we can know the names, but the names are not natural to us.
For sure.
So, like, if her name was Rebecca and her sister's name was Ashley, we could easily talk about this in, like, a regular way. But because their names are Taomi and Inje, it makes it... a little bit more difficult.
Yes.
for us to explain it in like a way that makes sense, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think we did it pretty well.
Pretty
You
well.
all can let us know in the comments
Yeah.
if we did it well.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
let's move it from plot into like our thoughts on the show. What were you thinking of the show so far? Are you enjoying it? Are you liking it? What's going on?
So at first, I thought the show was set in like a near future.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like
It has a very colorful,
Yeah.
like, neon kind of look to it.
But then when I realized it wasn't, was when they went 15 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
he and the good boy won that competition, and they gave him a laptop.
Yeah.
And it was like the
A
newest
ThinkPad with
laptop. It was like newest best laptop
Yeah.
ever, and it was like a ThinkPad. So I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is like the early 2000s.
For sure. He like hooks an Ethernet
yeah.
jack in the back of it.
So it is. I think it's set current day.
Yeah.
It's set like right now. They did a good job of like introducing all the characters and like
Yes.
what they stand for, like
Mhm.
each as individuals. I think they set up a lot with like the how the two sisters are different.
Yep.
And I know, and how much that's going to come into play later is very clear already.
Right.
There's like the differences between how one of them, the one who chose to stay with her father through the hard times, and then, you know, obviously that didn't work out the way that it should have.
Right.
And then the other one who went with the mother ended up getting the easy route through life,
For
or an
sure.
easier path of less resistance.
It's very like allegorical.
Yes, like you can already see like how it's setting itself up. And then you have the guy, the good boy, whose name is
His name's not Good Boy.
No, his name is not Good Boy. It's Chipong.
Chipong.
Something like that.
Can we show people this? Look, he writes it in Korean. That's how legit he is.
It's easier for me to pronounce it right.
Yeah.
When I put it in Korean.
That makes sense.
I
think the thing about, I don't want to say like all K-dramas are like this, because this is obviously my second K-drama. But what I love about this show and what I love about Itaewon Class is the way they open and they do this flashback thing.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to have like a full season to understand a character's backstory, to grow a connection to a character. Like you are, like we just watched one episode and I feel like I understand what all the characters kind of stand for. Like I feel like I care about certain characters. I understand which characters are like not that great, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel a connection to them, even though we just watched one episode, because you get to see them in the past. You get to see them 15 years ago, and you get to see where they are now. So you see growth, but you've only watched one episode.
And I think the thing that I think bothers me a lot about American shows is it operates, or like the way that they make them is so that there's a lot of information that you don't know. So like things are happening and you're just not sure. It's not like you're wondering what is going to happen. You're wondering what already happened.
Yeah.
They just like hide things from you and then show you later what happened.
Like a carrot on the stick kind of situation. This is like, we want to watch the next episode because we want to know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
what
they show you what happened.
Yes.
Like, and the thing, like they get to the point, like Itaewon Class did it too. It's like first episode, it's like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
We're not going to leave anything out and make you wonder what happened. We're going to make you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, like we're not wondering, oh, I wonder why these sisters hate each other. Or, like that would be a thing on American TV show. Oh, they're sisters, but they hate each other, and you'll find out why in season 2.
Yeah, the flashbacks come slowly. Like in these shows, it's like they give you the information and then and then they have the show happen.
Yes.
Like, so that's kind of like, I really like that about it. Because they do the same thing with the guy, where you see kind of like he's an orphan and you can see how skeptical he is about the world and like people's intentions, because he has his own kind of like, he looks out for himself. And he's not used to other people caring about him. So he's very skeptical when the grandmother tries to help him.
Just shows him care for no reason. You know?
But it culminates in like how emotional he is when he ends up leaving, even though he never showed it previous to that, because you can tell it's like the first time in his life he's been cared for, like really by a person. So
she doesn't just give him all the money that he invested for her. She shows up at the bus station when he's leaving and gives him a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, because his shoes were beat up.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "What do you want from me?" And she's like, "I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Just, if you're ever in a bind, call me."
She says, "Don't call me when you're successful. Don't call me whenever. I don't want to be jealous. Call me when you're in a rough patch. Call me when you're sad or something."
And you can tell through the episode that like meant a lot to him, and his character. And I think that you're gonna find out that was like a kind of like a changing point, like in his life for him, like as just like who he is as a person. I can already tell that's like gonna be like, because you can see the change in like the way he acts in that moment compared to how he was earlier in the episode.
Yeah, and there's one more connection to Itaewon Class, which maybe we'll do a show about one day. But it's this whole theme of like you want to be honorable, like especially in business. Like both the shows have like a business like focus.
Yeah.
Like you want to build your business honorably. You don't want to like take handouts from like family. Like it's a very similar thing. Like you want to be a respectable kind of person, pursue the right things in life. I don't know. I think it's going to evolve into something cool. I'm excited to see where it ends up going.
Yeah. Because like with that, you see how early in the episode, like the grandmother's worried that the kid stole her money, and she was like, "Oh," and then like you can see her kind of debating. She's like, "Oh, my money," and then she's like, whatever, I can just make more money." She's like, "Oh, but I worked so hard for it." So she runs the check. Then when she runs the check, the kid is there, and he's like, "No, I didn't steal your money." He's like, "Honestly, I thought about it, but I didn't do it."
Yep.
And then you can see the same thing later in the episode. He thinks that she took all his money out of the bank that he made straight, and he sprints back, and he's all mad. He grabs his stuff and he goes to leave, and she grabs him and she says, like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I can't believe you gave your son my money like that." And she comes out with a giant bag of money and just gives it to him.
Why would I do that?
Yeah, she's like, "Why would I give him your money?"
Yeah. So they had that like mirror moment.
Yeah, where it's like their roles reversed. And she gave him the same like respect that he gave her in the beginning.
Do you think this is going to be a revenge story? Is she going to be seeking revenge on her sister, or is she going to be seeking to one-up her sister?
I think that she wants to make her sister see that she made the wrong choice. That's the goal here, because that's kind of been the question right now. Like, who made the right choice with which parent they decided to live with, and who made the wrong choice? And you can already tell, like, the older sister has like this superiority complex where she's like, "Oh, I made the right decision." Yeah, because, and seeing you only confirms to me that I made the right decision. And I think the younger sister is probably obviously wants to prove her wrong. But I think also because the father died and like the way that he did when things were probably going to go well for them, and she probably would be living, similarly to her sister if her father had not passed away in that moment. And that's one other thing that was really confusing to me and just kind of sets up how horrible of a person the older sister is. The fact that she said like, "Oh, seeing you now makes me realize that I made the right decision," knowing full well that the father died like very soon after she left. If it not even like, I feel like it was the same day.
It was,
like the way they set it up, it almost made it seem like it was like
that
like
it was the same day they got into a fight.
The same day they got into a fight and the sister left, like the father died. And like you would think, knowing that, you would show some compassion to your sister in that moment. Like it was your father too.
She's absolutely the villain of the show.
And she completely lacks any sort of compassion. And that's,
But we'll see if Dami, right?
Dami is the girl from Itaewon Class's name in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. Yeah. I want to see if she's going to constantly be trying to impress her rich sister, or if she's constantly going to try to, find her own way and make her own way in life and just live happily in spite of the sister.
I think that I don't think this right now seems like she wants to take down her sister. Like I don't think she wants to see her sister be not successful and take her down. I just think she wants her sister to have some like respect for like the way she chose to live her life, and that she can still do the things that she wants to do with her life. Even though she's not
have a rich stepdad.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
That's the first episode. I'm excited for the second one.
Yeah, we'll get it in sometime this week.
And then we'll be back with another episode. So if you enjoyed this chat and you want to see more from the K-Drama Club on our channel, please let us know. Leave a thumbs up on the video, leave a comment, and let us know your thoughts on episode 1, predictions for episode 2. Even leave your thoughts for episode 2, because we will see them before we record the video.
Yeah.
And this was the first
episode. But no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Sure. So this was the first episode. If you have thoughts, should we talk more about plot? Should we talk more about our thoughts? Should we do more predictions? Things like that. Let us know. All that good stuff in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Previously, we only did Blackpink videos, but we're branching out a little bit. We'll still do some Blackpink videos.
We're going to probably still do
a lot of K-pop in general, and then more K-dramas to come. So we hope you will come along for the ride. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Nick.
And I'm Joe.
And we're
Nick and Joe.
And have a good one.